Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day. So we all know that jazz and classical have some of the hardest music ever written. But which one is more difficult? The only way to find out is to find some of the hardest pieces and solos from each genre, learn them, and then play them. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to be taking some of your suggestions as well as some of my own ideas. So let's see what ideas you had. Zigeunerweisen by Sarasate. I don't think I've heard this one, so let's take a listen. Alright, so this one's played by a 12-year-old, so it probably won't be that hard unless she's some kind of child prodigy, which never happens on YouTube, right? Okay, so that looks pretty hard. Makes you wonder what you were doing at 12 years old. Anyway, let's see if I can play it. Damn, that was pretty tough. Really fast and relentless with basically no breaks, but there was a decent amount of repetition which made it more manageable. Tap like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Alright, so we've had a classical one, now let's find some jazz. Corey Henry's Lingus solo on bass. Bro, don't kill the guy, Lamau. Charles Cornell also included this solo in 3 jazz solos that made him want to quit playing. So let's take a listen and see what all the fuss is about. Alright, well that's some really ridiculous stuff right there. I love it when I see musicians tap into another level of consciousness when they're playing. Most jazz solos are improvised, and you can really tell that he's hearing all the ideas in his head before he plays them. That's the key to really good improv. It was technically challenging, but also had so much variation in the rhythms and the harmonies that it just made it really difficult to memorize. You can probably see a bit of a pattern starting to emerge here. Classical is a little bit more predictable and predetermined, whereas jazz is a lot more free-flowing and spontaneous because of the fact that it's improvised. You might be wondering how you can learn to play music like this. If there's a skill you want to learn but have no idea where to start, you should check out Skillshare. So Skillshare is an online learning community with literally thousands of classes on topics like music production, music composition and theory, film and video editing, and more. They have classes for every level. For example, Mark Barnacle has a class called Learn Guitar, the Complete Beginner's Guide, which is great because he goes at a very manageable pace and teaches you the basics like how to tune and play basic chords, but then goes on to teach you iconic riffs like Enter Sandman, so you leave with some tangible progress. Some other really great things about Skillshare are that there are no ads. It's very affordable at only $10 for an annual subscription, and they're constantly launching new classes so you can keep exploring new things. Anyway, thanks so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I'm sure a lot of you could find something that you'd like to learn. The first 1,000 people to use the link in the description will get a free trial of a Skillshare premium membership so you can explore your creativity. Alright, next up we have Paganini's Caprice 24, which is one of the hardest pieces ever written for violin. All right, let's see if I can play it. This one is technically insanely difficult. It jumps around so much at a really fast pace, and it's just overall really tiring to play. But like Zachary, it has a little bit more of a formula to it, with some repeated phrases and rhythmic motifs, which make it just a little bit easier to learn. All right, let's do one more jazz one. Giant steps. Let's take a look at that. Alright, that one looks a little too difficult for me. Since jazz is all about improv, I'm going to play my own solo for you. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. All right, it's time to decide which is harder, classical or jazz. It's a tie. They're both difficult in their own ways. Classical can be technically insanely difficult, but it's often a little bit more predictable and based on more rigid rules and formulae. Jazz can also be technically insane, but the fact that you're usually improvising means you can play more in your own style, which often feels a little bit more natural than trying to perfectly replicate someone else's composition. None of these things make either genre better or worse. They just define the style and give each one their own characteristics sound. But let me know in the comments which one you find more difficult out of classical or jazz. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember to tap like and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you in the next video.